Hey guys, welcome on into MVP, the Mo Vaughn podcast powered by Perfect Game and the Vaughn Sports Academy. We just wanted to wish you guys a happy holidays and thank everyone for all your support this year. It has been awesome. It has been great seeing the love and engagement from you guys. It's been amazing. So thank you so much for that. Mo and I have had a great time doing the show, getting to chat with some of the greatest baseball players to ever live. So around this holiday time, we figure let's revisit some of those old conversations in a very special best of episode. First up, our very first episode that we launched, two Red Sox legends with each other on the podcast. You got Mo Vaughn and you got Big Papi, David Ortiz. Love this one because how often do you get to listen to two of the most feared hitters of all time talking shop? I mean, just listen to these guys and tell me you wouldn't have been afraid of stepping on the mound to face them.
You know, one of the big things I used to talk to you about was, you know how much, and we were different hitters because you were lefty. You got through the ball, you know, with that top hand rolling, and you did some things. You know, I always used to laugh. Yo, you struggling? Where are we going? Green Monster, Green Monster, Green
all
Monster.
the time, all
Get
the
home
time,
and go to the Green Monster. Talk to me about that.
all the time. I tell you what, though, people sometimes don't realize that for guys like us, they don't want us to stand. They want us to keep. They want to keep us tight.
Right.
So the Green Monster, after many conversations with you, I kind of understand the importance of driving the ball that way. It was like a way out for us. To
Exactly.
be honest with you, it was a way out. The pitchers, they know that we can pull the ball, so they try to stay away from us because they
Right.
know we were good and we were quick right here, pulling the trigger right here. So I basically got to the point where in the batting cages, batting practice, I tried not to pull one pitch. I fall in love with the Green Monster until the point that even going to other fields, I used to
It worked
see,
for you.
oh my God, it was unbelievable. I remember Gene Rice one time came to me. I was struggling, and he went like, Papi, batting practice today, I want you to do this. I want you to focus on left center, right center, and try to hit a ball in between that gap right there. And
Right.
because I was pulling everything, I was feeling so uncomfortable trying to do that
Mm-hmm.
because everything is one way. When guy like us get in a slump, it was because we were going only one way. The
Right.
pitch out of third, we were seeing it with one eye
Right.
because everything was going this way.
Mm-hmm.
So he taught me, hey, get off the play a little and batting practice and force yourself to drive the ball in between that gap.
Right.
And let's see how they feel. At the beginning, I was feeling so uncomfortable. But once I got that rhythm, it was over
Yeah.
because we had the blessing from God that we were strong enough to not try to do as much.
Right.
We were strong enough. I remember, Mo, you hit a ball off of Randy Johnson. That ball was right here in your hands,
Mm-hmm.
and you had that bat that was like 40 inches long, a freaking
That's
tree.
that's because I couldn't stay back. So I said, you know what? Since you don't know how to stay back, you need a longer bat.
No, but your bat was like, I'm telling you, like I had never seen a baseball player with a baseball bat that size. I used to have a couple of more bat that he left behind that I used to use it in batting practice, bro.
Yeah.
Listen, when I used to go back to my bat, it was like a
You're ready.
toothpick. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. So I remember I used to go back to the video. This fast was 99 right here in the hand, and you just it was like okay right here. And I used to go back to those videos. I used to talk to my boy Billy, who used to
Really, yeah.
archive all those videos. You know Billy, and I used to tell Billy, let me see my man Mo videos. And bro, let me tell you, I learned so much from just watching those videos, the engagement, your mentality, knowing, like I was watching those videos and I was listening to you talking right here, the conversation that we already had. And I learned so much about how to play at Fenway Park because I tell you what, it had got to the point that when the pitchers saw that I was driving the ball with no problem, opposite field, and then they want to come to my house because but I end up forcing them.
You force him.
I
There's
force
nowhere to
them.
go, nowhere to hide.
No,
Yeah,
there's nowhere to
I
go.
got
There's
your
nowhere to
problem.
hide. That's exactly how it is. And at some point, it got to the point where like, okay, let's go to the next guy. But you put yourself in the situation. You know what I'm saying? You have to
Yeah,
force them. But bro, listen, without mechanic, it's not gonna happen.
right.
That was absolutely awesome. So cool to see the respect between Mo and Big Papi. I mean, you could feel the love that they have for each other, the respect that they have for each other. Two Boston legends, two mashers, two guys who own the Green Monster. So that was absolutely cool. So we go from a guy that maybe Mo Vaughn wishes was in his lineup to a guy who was in his lineup, one of his favorite teammates, one of the best tandems that he had in there. And that is, of course, the always interesting, the always captivating, the legendary Jose Canseco. And it's funny because, Jose Canseco, first time getting a chance to ever speak with him, you know all the headlines, you know what an unbelievably big figure this is. But getting a chance to, hear him tell his stories with Mo, you get a totally different side from him than we usually get. This is one of my favorite conversations with the great Jose Canseco on MVP. I'm curious, everybody obviously remembers the Bash Brothers, but what do you remember about being in the lineup with Mo? I'm curious about that, like the intimidation factor of you guys. Must have been incredible. Must have been nightmares for pitchers to go against. So, like, just that duo. What are the things that come to mind?
Enough, two funny things I saw the other day because I know it's going to be on the show, and I looked it up. They showed a lot of me and Mo going back to back in Boston. And Mo, you remember when you faced me when I was pitching at the knuckleball? Mo hit it right back at me and almost killed me.
I don't remember that. That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
God, yes, Mo. When I pitched the Texas Rangers,
you hurt your arm too.
I was throwing knuckleball. I threw you an outside knuckleball. You hit it back at me. I tried to glove it. Almost took my glove off.
Oh my God!
It was hilarious.
I was telling Brendan. I said, Jose's got a persona and stuff like that. Probably one of the funniest guys I know. You know what I mean? Like, but only we get to know that. Do you remember when you came into the Red Sox clubhouse with the iguana?
Yes. See, people don't know this, but I'm an animal lover. I've had iguanas, I've had cougars, I've had all kind of animals, all kind of birds, all kind of tortoises, all kind of lizards, all kind of dogs. Oh my God, I've had every animal on the planet. So yeah, I brought in iguanas before. I've brought in tortoises before in the clubhouse, especially with the Oakland Coliseum. So I'm a big time animal lover. It's funny you remember that, Mo. That's hilarious.
What was everybody's reaction when you walked in?
I ran. I was like, "What? That looks like a damn lizard." I ran.
Like a little dinosaur.
I looked like a little dinosaur. I was like, "What in the hell are we doing? What are we doing?" But that was the time also. Jose would like to. He would take his BP. Then he would kind of chill. He'd be laying down in the get a little nap on the training table. I walk in one time. Somebody has taped him up to the training table, and he can't get dressed. He can't get dressed in time to get on the field for the game. I go, what the hell are you doing here?
Mo, you remember that?
I remember.
Clemens, it was Wakefield, and I think it was Hasselman, right?
Yep.
Literally, they start taping me to the table, and I thought, okay, I can get out of it really easy. They taped me down so strong that I could not move. And literally would not let me off the table until just right before the game.
Oh man.
Yeah. It was pretty bad.
I don't think people realize what a frat house these clubhouses can be sometimes.
It's the best.
Are those some of the favorite memories you guys have of just of the playing days, just the shenanigans that go on through 162 games?
That's what it's all about, right, bro?
It's just a lot of fun. It's like the boys club in there. A lot of fun. We make jokes. People don't know that. Our clubhouse is our safety zone. It's our safety area. We get to tell stories, have fun, um, act a fool, act childish. I mean, just throw soap at each other in the shower. I mean, there's just funny stuff that goes on. But then when we get that uniform on and we get on the field, it's pure business. But you get to see the youngsters in us inside the clubhouse playing dominoes, playing cards, throwing things around, playing practical jokes on each other. It's just funny. The camaraderie. I love the Boston Red Sox. We have the best time. We have the best players. We have the best manager.
Yeah, Kevin was great, right?
Kevin was great. Let me tell you a funny story, Kevin. So one day I go out playing golf with Roger Clemens, Tim Wakefield, and Hasselman. And literally, we got caught in traffic on the way back. And of course, when you come into the clubhouse, you have to pass by the manager's office. There's a huge glass there. We literally tried to sneak in late. Kevin Kennedy says, where you guys been? Come here. So me and Roger, we walked into the manager's office, and Kevin says, you guys haven't been playing golf, have you? Because you guys are late. And literally, we look at each other, but no, Kevin, we haven't been playing golf. So then Kevin goes, so what's that T doing behind your ear? I mean, he cold busted caught us. I had a T behind my ear that he set down to drive off with, and we started laughing. When Kevin started laughing, he just says, get your ass dressed, and Jose, you better hit a home run tonight. I actually did hit a home run.
It's great stuff. Great stuff, man.
That was so cool. And it was really awesome to hear, just some things I didn't even know about Jose Canseco, which was just an unbelievable time having him stop by the program. I'll tell you one thing, that you've had all these great hitters who have stopped by the program. And one thing that was unbelievably cool was seeing a figure that we all seen be around baseball for a long, long time and getting to get his perspective. And that was with the former MLB commissioner, Bud Selig. So let's rewind to that conversation. He did so much for the game. It was great to reminisce with him and what it was like to get elected to Cooperstown and be in the Hall of Fame.
Commissioner, what was, we're not too far away from the anniversary of you getting into the Hall of Fame. What was that moment like for you?
Well, here I was, a kid from Milwaukee, bought a team and brought it to my hometown, which I'll always be very proud of. And I can remember driving to Chicago. I said to everybody, I want to drive by myself because I want to think about everything that happened. Odds were against us. They didn't really want to come back here. This is a great baseball town, as Mo knows, and they've sold out 8 or 9 of the last home games here. And to think you're getting in the Hall of Fame, for me, was really beyond anything that I could think about. Can't tell you how proud I was. I remember sitting, I'll tell you a little story if we have a little time here. I was sitting, we went to Washington, where the winter meetings were and where we had been announced. And there I was with John Surhouse of Atlanta, who's a friend of mine, a close friend of mine. John and I did a lot of things together. And he looked at me in the morning, and I looked at him, and he said to me first, and then Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Mickey Mantle, go on and on and on. How fortunate are we? And that's how I felt about the Hall of Fame. It's an honor that it was just phenomenal. And it meant everything in the world. And I think the one thing about baseball, and Mo will know this as a player, you're taught early on, above all, you got to respect the game. And that transcends you, me, everybody else. And so, what did I think? Well, it's an honor that I still regard. I couldn't go this year for health things, which are fine now. But I watched the whole thing, and I miss being there. I miss being with all the guys, and that's what makes the game so good. It's marvelous history. Sure, we have unfortunate things. Life is difficult. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but think about this. John Surhouse was right when he named all the people, and to think we're involved in that. We did enough so that people voted to bring us into it. I would say to you, amongst many things, it's the greatest honor of my life.
Well deserved. Well deserved. This past a couple of months, the great Bob Uecker was at Marlins Park when they honored him. You know, his life passing. You had some statements about him, but for our audience, would you mind, you know, just thoughts of the legendary Brewers voice? Of course, we all remember the Harry Doyle character from Major League. It felt like he was such a great ambassador for the game.
Oh, he was just a bit outside. Remember that great line? The ball was 6 feet on. I'll tell you the story. Bob and I go back a long time. Obviously, he's a Milwaukee guy. And we got the team, and in that year, so it was January of 71, and we were at the New York Writers' Dinner. Bob was starting his career, and Bob was great. And I said to him, let's go out afterward. And it was a very simple thing. We were talking, and two old friends, and we were already very close. I said, how'd you like to work for the Brewers? Shrugged his shoulder, and he said, why not? I'd love to. And that's how that whole thing started. And he did some games. He did some games that were... I didn't hire him to be a play-by-play announcer. Actually, I looked for something for him to do, and I made him a scout. He was the worst scout in baseball history. And he would, if he were here today, he would allow. I sent him up to the Northern League where he scouted. Oh, man. Frank Lane was our general manager. Remember Frank Lane? He was a bombastic. You guys are too young to remember him, but he had been a very famous general manager. And he came in about a week later, and he said, your guy Uecker. Yeah, why? What about him? Here's his scouting report. It had mashed potatoes all over it. You couldn't read the thing. And what people have forgotten, and, you know, there's Harry Doyle and all the things that you would know. And he was on Johnny Carson more than any other person. Bob, legitimately, Mo, as you know, too, was if you were with him, he was just a funny guy. He's just a funny guy, but he turned himself into a great announcer. A great announcer. And so he became a legend here, but really into baseball. And Bob and I have a lot of fun together.
What an awesome conversation that was with Commissioner Silic. And he's, by the way, one of the cool things about it when we had him on the podcast, he's still such a monster baseball fan. You know, the Brewers were making their playoff push when we did that interview. We tune in on the Zoom link or the video link, and he's got the Brewers game on. Like, he is fully engaged in the pennant race. You know, he cares so much about Milwaukee. He cares about the team. Still that engaged at his age means a lot to him. So I said earlier in the podcast that, you know, anyone would be afraid to step on the mound against Mo Vaughn and Big Papi, but maybe not everybody, because one guest that we had recently on the podcast, I mean, I don't think this guy feared anybody when he got on the mound. And that is when we had the Rocket, Roger Clemens, join the podcast. And it was such a blast hearing him and Mo Vaughn reminisce and seeing that intimidation factor from both sides. And not only that, but really just hearing how Roger had such a big influence on Mo coming up as a baseball player as well, and just seeing the way that he worked and what an influence that was for Mo Vaughn. So let's check it out.
Let me tell you something. He's the guy, the best teammate to have when he's in your clubhouse and the worst guy to face when he's on the other side. And I had both experiences, and we're going to talk about one right now. He comes in from Toronto.
That was Harry, crazy game.
And both of us got affected by the idiocy of Dan Duquette. We both, were ostracized for whatever reason. I think it was just ego. Me, I'm a GM. I got these type of guys around me. I'm coming in, I'm shaking their hands, and I'm not trying to worry about who takes the credit. I think that was more of it. But he came back, and I had an opportunity to face him. And the intensity of that at bat was the best intensity I've ever had in terms of facing a guy that I knew and that I love at the same time. But we got jobs to do, and we're going at it. We're stepping out. We're fouling. I'm fouling balls off. He's stepping out. And there's a base open, and knowing him, I just wouldn't think that he would do it to me. He hit me, bang, right in the left shoulder. And now I got the boys, his boys going, Dad, how did you do that? And just as I'm walking down the line, I don't even know if you said this. He goes to me, dog, I just want you to realize right now that we're on separate sides. And he kept walking. And I'll never forget that. And it really made me understand what it was to be a professional, and that this was a game, but this was a business. And he was letting me know, this is about business. You got to react the way you're supposed to react, and I'm going to damn sure react the way that I'm supposed to react. But what a time that was. And I just say that he taught me everything in the game as a professional how to be, and I had to earn it. I was in the first brawl with him. I think we were playing Detroit at one time. Peter Gaviria went deep. Somebody else went deep. Rob Deere, bang, he drove John Shelby. And now I'm in a brawl for the first time, and I got to protect my pitcher. And we did that, and from that time on, I got protected, and there was nothing better than that. It was a tremendous amount of respect, a tremendous amount of love. I learned how to play from.
Dog, I remember you. I remember you running into that guy. You threw a shoulder into that guy. He went flying. He went like 5 yards across the mound. You're like a fullback. You're like a fullback, man. You were down low when you came in there. Man, I heard the air come out of that guy when you hit him.
I had to do what I had to do because that's my guy, and I had to show him that I had his back.
Yeah, so let me back up. Let me back up for a minute on this game. Let me back up just a little bit, because Charlie O'Brien, my catcher in Toronto, he said it was the most electric game and he's been in some big games with Atlanta Braves. Charlie caught, the Maddoxes and Glavins and all that. Very good hands, very quiet hands, and could call a game too and paid attention when I was calling it. But man, it was difficult, dog. You know that. So, coming in there and facing my guys, a handful of my guys were still there, and now we're battling, and you're going to get my best because you're dangerous. So I got to bear down. You got great plate coverage. You can go bullpen. You can go off the wall. I remember throwing my little, what I called Racer X, my two-seamer, trying to get it up under your arms. And, but that was a hairy game. And you're right. The Duquette dude, which I even hate,
say his name.
I can't even. Yeah, I don't even want to mention it. He ran us all off. I mean, he ran Greeny off. He ran the late, God rest Greeny's soul. He ran Gator off, and Gator had the best swings on the team still. So, but he wanted his own guys. I mean, I remember he tongue lashed me because I got out the stretching for like 2 minutes too late. But I said, go talk to the front office. I just got done signing 6 dozen balls again for you inside. Every time I rolled in there, I got to sign 6 dozen balls for upstairs. And that's why I didn't even explain it to him. I just shuck it off. But that was a great game. Coming back, man, it was crazy. And like I said, you got to face your guys. I mean, there's nobody knows each other better than you and I. There's nothing that I can throw you that you haven't seen. And but that was a great ball game, a tough ball game, but a good one.
So from one pitcher who should be in the Hall of Fame to one who already is in Cooperstown. And that is one of the greatest closers of all time. You think about the closer position, you probably think of two people. You think of the great Mariano Rivera, and you think of this man, Hell's Bells himself, Trevor Hoffman, who joined us live in person at the WWBA in Jupiter, Florida. And he talked about the mentality of pitching, how to utilize everything at your disposal, and being at that tournament. It was really getting a great perspective from him and Perfect Game and how he's seeing the game blossom and how you're seeing the game grow. Really enjoyed our time with the great Trevor Hoffman.
Let's talk about what we're trying to do to Mo Vaughn in Qualcomm Stadium. You know, I'm down by a run. I got a man on second base trying to win the game. What's the scouting report? What are you doing to try to get? It's 2 outs. We're trying to get out. You're trying to get out of this. What is your mindset? How are you pitching? What pitch selection? What are you trying to keep me away from? And then I'm, thinking about what I'm trying to do.
Honestly, it's for me, I'm going to go to the best pitch in baseball, and that's strike one.
Right.
If I can get ahead with whatever it is, and for me, it's going to be, I'm going to try and utilize the big part of the ballpark the other way and make you really hit something that's away from you in my area. If I'm going to miss off the plate, and then we're going to get into the at bat.
Right.
Nothing can happen until it's either 0-1 or 1-0.
Right.
And I'm gonna try and assess: are you giving me a tell? Are you giving me something you're wanting to do? Did you move up from where you were at for the next pitch? Did you move up in the box from the next pitch? Did you spit on it like you knew it was coming?
Right.
You giving me a tell that I can?
Right.
The analytics, I get they're out there, but there's so much that you have to pay attention to within the moment. I don't know what I'm going to throw my second pitch until I throw the first pitch.
Correct. And that's what we talk about. And listen, Hoffy's in organizations, and I'm sure he's using analytics to some point
Sure.
That's going to help him on the mound. But damn it, we got to look at what we're trying to do. Our eyes tell us everything.
Yeah.
Did you ever, and I want people out there to understand, these guys are so good. They're looking at the wind. They're looking at, how you had, your at-bats over the course of a series. They're looking at the distance of the fence, and they're pitching to the elements. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I just came back from the Padres series against the Cubs, and the first thing you do is you look out your window and see which direction the wind's blowing. Is it a sore arm day, or is it let's go day with the wind blowing in? Which way are the flags? You talk about Wrigley always to be known for thick grass. So if I could get the ball down in the zone and get you to put it in the grass, it's going to get gobbled up.
Right.
A lot of little things that do go into play, but that's the fun part of pitching, and that's what I loved about going to that side was I would struggle as a hitter, and I realized firsthand how hard it was, and so I tried not to give away too much credit to the hitter when we were facing each other because it's hard. It's a hard business you guys have.
You blow a save.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do next day? Are you ready to go back out the next day?
Absolutely.
Same mindset.
Same routine. So, you have to believe in the process is still right. And you kind of debrief and you kind of go over what went wrong. Like, was it a bad pitch or was it,
did he hit a good pitch?
Right.
Because that's going to happen.
It is going to happen. They're going to hit bad pitches too.
Right.
So I think you have to assess, how did I get into that situation? What did the scoreboard tell me throughout the day that is where we're at in the game? But yes, blown saves suck because you got to walk into that clubhouse and look your teammates in the eye and know that they worked super hard to get the ball in your hand with a win and in the chances and it not happen. That's what was the worst part. Now, I could handle the individual stat is what it is, but it was hard to know how hard for 3 hours guys grinded. Everyone in front of me, all the hitters, all the fielding that had to be done to lose the game.
Yeah.
That sucked.
But it takes a superior mind to be a closer. And that's where Hoffman.
Yeah,
not everybody can do it. Not everybody can do it. People get tight. He never got tight. He executed, 90-something, 95% of the time he executed.
So
and you got to be
interesting that a lot of people talk about, well, why doesn't a closer do well when it's a non-save situation?
Correct.
Okay, it's an interesting question. How I'll relate it to is now there's a safety net.
Right.
you're going out there and you're competing in a safe situations. Like there's an end game. Like if I get 3 outs, the game is over. And so I feel like the bats are a little bit different now when it's a work game and you're 4 runs one way or the other. It's like seeing a guy in spring training. Like I can't tell you how many times I'd see guys that you're going to see in the season. They would sit and take 3 or 4 pitches just to see what the arm line will look like, what that pitch looked like coming out. It's like, I don't want to give a free look away.
Right.
And that's what would happen in non-safe situations. It's just a freedom of hitting that you didn't have the game on the line.
Finally, on this best of edition, last and certainly not least, I in fact would like to say I'm saving personally the best for last as a lifelong Marlins fan, one of my all-time favorite players, and that is the great Gary Sheffield, who also joined us in Jupiter. We got to talk about everything I've ever wanted to talk to him about. We got to talk about the waggle. We got to talk about the chef's kiss. We got to talk about his growth. My favorite thing that we got to get on it was the 97 Marlins and how much Darren Dalton meant to him. And not only that, but he had such a bold claim in this about what it would have meant to the Marlins if they would have stayed together and what that may have been as a domino effect for the dynasties of the 90s. So love getting a chance to talk to Gary Sheffield in Jupiter.
How did the bat waggle start? And I want you to tell everybody what the reason are, but I know what the reasons were. Yeah. But tell me how it started and how that became a time mechanism.
Well, when I saw Julio Franco, he's wrapped the bat around his back ear and then he's pointed at the pitcher. I thought that was so bad. I said, man, how can he get the bat to the ball? And then when I saw him swing, and I was like, oh my gosh, that guy is dangerous. And I wanted to be a dangerous guy. I didn't just want to be a baseball player and people say, oh, he just played baseball. I wanted to be dangerous. And when I saw that, I saw it wiggling the bat. I used to hit like that in high school. And then when I got to the rookie ball, I'd never used a wood bat in my life. And I kept yanking balls foul because I didn't want to get jammed. And I lost about 3 or 4 home runs the first 3 days. So I got in bat practice the next day and I started doing it. And I said, I'm going to hit every ball to right center. I hit 10 balls out in a row. I've never done that in my life. And I said, I'm taking this in the game. I wound up hitting 2 home runs in the game, and I never stopped doing it. But the only time I stopped doing it is when I got to the big leagues, and they tried to stop me from wiggling the bat because they felt like I wasn't strong enough to do it. And I suffered for it for about 3 years. And I said, if I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out my way, and it came back.
Well, I also think that that bat, he could turn around anybody's fastball. So I think that also with that waggle it came the timing, whap, 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 and it kept him linear, straight to the pitcher.
Yes.
But you couldn't throw a fastball far. You couldn't shoot a 38 pellet by it. That's how fast and quick he was.
Well, I want to ask you, because Mo, you've talked about like you wanted to go up there, intimidate. Like there is kind of like an aura to it too. Like you knew like they saw the bat wag up there. Like was there a mental thing to it too? Like it just you wanted that to get into their head?
Before he answers, let's just say, he was probably the most feared one in our game, in our time. There are guys that, were bigger and stronger.
Yes.
But the actual getting the bat to the zone, nobody did it. And you were like, yo, y'all better be ready. Because if he's here to with bad intentions. He had bad intentions every time he's wanted back. It was great.
I'm glad you said that, Mo, because this is what I try to tell my kids. I wasn't the biggest, the fastest, or strongest. I always wanted to be the most consistent. I couldn't hit a ball far as you. I couldn't hit a ball farther than Darryl Strawberry. I couldn't hit a ball farther than Mark McGwire. I knew I couldn't do that. But I knew if I put the proper swing on the pitch every single time, I give myself a chance to hit the ball out the park, whether it went 2 rows over or 10 rows over. And so I try to teach my kids, don't let size intimidate you when you walk up. Just be that pure hitter. The power comes last. And when the power comes and you know how to hit and they don't with the power, then you're going to last the longest.
Right, exactly.
One of the things that was crazy, Gary, I watched you down here. I was a Marlins fan. So, like, you literally were one of the guys who made me fall in love with the game.
Yeah.
But I was, as a kid, I didn't realize when you came from the Padres, you won the batting title.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's my biggest flex in baseball. I did it with Tony Gwynn.
That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Like, did you always?
Yeah.
That's because it is one of those things where, like, you were feared and everybody knew the power, but like the art of hitting, like, did you feel like that? Does that overlooked in your game?
It is. I think so. But see, that came in 1992. Tony Gwynn told me about me. He taught me about me. He said, you can just step on a baseball field and barrel a ball up. but I want you to understand how you do it and why you do it. And basically, I'm looking at how you know me better than me.
Right.
But he knew me better than me. And
That's
he
that
said,
sight we got.
that's right. And he took that job of being that mentor to me to say, I'm going to make you great. And I knew that I wanted to be great. I just ain't know how. And when he gave me that in that cage, the first day I got to the Padres, and we went in that cage and we worked, and then we made a wolf pack. We're not striking out. That's the first thing he told me. We're not striking out. And I said, I don't strike out anyway. He said, no. You're going to hit for power, average, drive-in runs, and not strike out. And if you go back and look at 1992, me and Tony Gwynn combined with 1,200 plate appearances. He struck out 17 times. I struck out 35 to 40 times with 33 home runs.
And with that bad intention.
That conversation with Gary Sheffield was Goosey's on top of Goosey's, dude. So cool. What a year it's been so far here. And we're just getting started at MVP, the Mo Vaughn podcast. Mo is absolutely fired up. He's enjoying doing the show. I'm loving doing the show with him. And so we want to thank you guys for listening. If you love the show, make sure, if you could, leave a review, tell a friend, spread the word. We got plenty more baseball legends on the way. So until then, have a great holiday, and we'll talk to you soon on the Mo Vaughn podcast, powered by Perfect Game and the Vaughn Sports Academy. Talk to you next time, guys.